Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Wisconsin, Wisconsin, Wisconsin. I gotta thank somebody. Gaylord Nelson, I'm back. He first introduced me to Wisconsin a long time ago when I was a kid. I'm only 40 now, but I was a kid then. Sabrina, thank you for the introduction and for the volunteering for our campaign. And a special thanks to one of the best governors I've ever worked with in my life, Tony Evers. You've got a former governor, Jim Doyle, Madison Road, mayor of this city. And look, we got a guy who has a tough time winning an election. He only gets 70% of the vote, Congressman Mark Pocan. And so many local leaders who did, including the chair of Wisconsin Democratic Party, Ben Wickler. Ben, hello. Oh, Ben. Folks, did you have a good 4th of July? By the way, if you wonder whether Trump has it all together, did you ever hear how he explained the 4th of July when he was president? No, I'm serious. This is true. His explanation of how America won the Revolutionary War, I'm not making this up. He said in his 4th of July speech 5 years ago, he said, George Washington's army won the revolution by taking control of the airports from the British. And talk about me misspeaking. Airports and the British in 1776? It's true, he is a stable genius, this man. My friends, I'm in Wisconsin for one reason, because we're going to win Wisconsin again. We're going to win it. And let me tell you how we're going to do it. You know the reason. We're going to do it because of you all in this room to start with. Well, we're going to stand up for women in America. We're going to restore Roe v. Wade, the law of the land. We're going to stand up for the right to vote again. We're going to fight for Medicare and Social Security and child care, elder care, paid leave, all which grows economies. We're going to keep lowering the cost of prescription drugs and expanding health care for everyone. Not just. Look. We're going to protect our children from getting weapons of war off our streets. That's what we're going to do. The idea that more children die from gunshot wounds in America is so wrong. It's sick. It really is sick. We're going to keep confronting climate change. The most important, we're going to save our democracy. Now, you probably heard we had a little debate last week. Can't say it was my best performance. But ever since then, there's been a lot of speculation. What's Joe going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? What's he going to do? Well, here's my answer. I am running and going to win again. Because we're going to go. Folks, I'm the sitting president of the United States of America in no small part because of you. Not a joke, in 2020, you came through for me. I'm the nominee of the Democratic Party. I'm the nominee of this party because millions of Democrats like you just voted for me in primaries all across America. You voted for me to be your nominee, no one else. You, the voters did that. And despite that some folks don't seem to care who you voted for, well, guess what? They're trying to push me out of the race. Well, let me say this as clearly as I can. I'm staying in the race. I'll beat Donald Trump. I will beat him again in 2020. by the way, we're going to do it again in 2024. I learned long ago, when you get knocked down, you get back up. And I'm not letting one 90-minute debate wipe out 3.5 years of work. As the governor said, I've led this nation from the depths of pandemic to the strongest economy in the world, and that's literally true. And I and you are not finished yet. Now, you probably also noticed a lot of discussion about my age. I know I look 40. I keep seeing all those stories about I'm being too old. Let me say something. I was too old. I wasn't too old to create over 15 million new jobs. To make sure Americans are insured under the Affordable Care Act. To beat Big Pharma, the first one to ever do that, and lower the cost of insulin to $35 procedure. Was I too old to relieve student debt for nearly 5 million Americans and grow the economy? Too old to put the first black woman on the Supreme Court of the United States of America? To sign the Respect for Marriage Act? Or they're too old to sign the most significant gun safety law in 30 years? To pass the biggest climate bill in the history of the world, not here, the history of the world. But then, my critics say, sure, but he did all that. But that was in the past. What about now? Well, how about the 200,000 jobs we announced yesterday? So let me ask you, what do you think? You think I'm too old to restore Roe v. Wade to law of the land? You think I'm too old to ban assault weapons again? To protect Social Security and Medicare? To get child care, elder care for working families who need the nation? To make billionaires finally start to pay something beyond 8.2% of the tax rate? Let me ask you, you think I'm too old to beat Donald Trump? I can hardly wait. Anyway. Folks, let's focus on what really matters. We're running against the biggest liar and the biggest threat, no, really, the biggest liar and biggest threat to our democracy in American history. That's not hyperbole. Over 150 presidential historians voted him the worst president in American history. No, the worst. As I've said before, he has the morals of an alley cat. He lies about the economy he created. The truth, he's one of only 2 American presidents who left office with fewer jobs than when he came into office. You know who the other one was? Herbert Hoover. Fact. That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump. He lies about the pandemic he totally botched. The truth is, over 1 million people went on to die. He told us what? To inject bleach in our arm. It wasn't serious. He lied about how great he was for veterans in his administration. The truth, he called veterans who gave their lives serving America, and I was just in Normandy and on the beaches of Normandy and all through that area. And he said, I have trouble saying this because my son died as a consequence of Iraq. Who gave their lives, he called them, quote, suckers and losers. By the way, I'll be damned. I'm glad I wasn't with him because I'll be damned to let him talk about my son that way. That's right. But how do we know he said this, that I'm not making this up? A 4-star Marine general, his own former chief of staff was with him, and he told us that's what he said. He's not the only former Trump official warning us about how bad Trump is, including the former secretaries of defense and even his own vice president. They refused to endorse him. Says a lot about who Trump is and says a lot about what he isn't. By the way, I couldn't ponder. I guess I shouldn't say it. But by the way, I couldn't be prouder to have your support and the support of our great Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris.